One of the best things that you can do for your life is to leave your hometown in your 20s. Look, when I was 23 years old, I left my hometown of Toronto. Well, I'm actually from Mississauga, a town right outside of Toronto. And I left my hometown to move to Medellin, Colombia. And who I was before I left Toronto to who I am now, 4 years later, are two completely different people. Like the person I was before couldn't even dream of what I'm doing right now. The money I'm making, the respect I have, the person I've become, the business I've established, all of that changed because I left my hometown. And now here's the reality. Look, if you've been living in the same town your entire life and you know the exact same people, the problem with that is that it's very hard to break out of that identity. And this is what happened to me. When I was in high school, right, my entire, adolescent life, I was the class clown. I was always someone who was joking around, someone who was just having fun, making people laugh. And you know what? It was a cool identity to have when you're a young kid, and it's fun. People like you for it. People like to be around you, but they don't respect you. And by the time I was started to become an early adult, like in my 18 to 21 years of age, I started to realize that, I don't want to be this clown anymore. I want to become someone successful in life. And when I started to actually dive into the world of entrepreneurship, when I started to dive into the world of actually becoming someone better and for myself, I realized that my environment around me was pulling me back, right? Every time I tried to do something, people around me would unconsciously, they would say this stuff to me, or subconsciously rather, would say, oh, why are you doing that? Why are you starting this YouTube channel? Why are you trying to post yourself online? Why are you posting videos of yourself online? Even my own friends at the time were like, oh, dude, so-and-so was talking crap about you because of that video you posted online. Why are you posting yourself online? Well, the problem with this is that everyone's just trying to bring you back to this old identity, and this is what happened to me. But then when I turned 24 years old, I realized I needed to make a change. So I actually packed my bags and I moved to Medellin, Colombia. Actually, I was 25 years old when I moved to Medellin, Colombia. And it was one of the greatest decisions I'd had ever made in my entire life. I originally visited Colombia back when, just after my 25th birthday, just for a vacation to go with a couple of friends. And it was so interesting to me how everyone treated me so differently because they didn't know my past. They didn't know I was a class clown before. They didn't know that I was trying to build this new identity of this, successful entrepreneur, and I was trying to become somebody for my life. And when I came here for these 2 weeks of vacation, I felt this energy that, hey, I can change my identity here. I can become whoever I want to be. And I remember after my vacation, when I came back to Canada, I realized I need to get myself back to Colombia because that's where things are going to happen. So I promised myself that I was going to go. Then I ended up leaving in January of 2020. And I'll never forget, I packed my bags, booked my flight, everything, and I headed on over. Now, originally my plan was to only be there for 3 months just to avoid a Canadian winter, build myself up, come back, and just kind of create a lifestyle like that. But then what ended up happening was after I got there, the pandemic hit, right? And the borders were locked. I could not leave to Canada. I was literally stuck. But it was the best thing that had ever happened to me because then I was able to recreate myself. I was able to remold myself. It was literally me stuck in an apartment. At the time, I had a girlfriend, actually still my girlfriend to this day. And thankfully, her family let me stay with them. It was great. But during that time, I was able to recreate my identity. I was able to become somebody who I've always wanted to be. And the beauty was that there was nobody to hold me back to my old identity, right? I was able to double down on my business. I was able to create content online without any fear. I was able to become so much more because all my old environment was out of the equation. It was the new Sarim. And I was just so happy about it. And I just became, and you know what? My growth happened so fast, so exponentially. All of a sudden, I became the LinkedIn guy. All of a sudden, people started reaching out to me for advice. All of a sudden, and my entire world changed. And it still blows my mind how quickly it happened because I didn't have my environment holding me back. I didn't have those voices saying, oh, why are you posting this content? All of them, I left them in the past. and I came to this new town and I was able to create a whole different life for myself. And then when I did end up going back to Canada and seeing everyone for the first time, I was this entire new person. I couldn't be I was unshakable, right? Like no one could bring me back to that old identity anymore. The new Sarim was formed, the new successful entrepreneur, businessman, this individual, the new me was created, and there was no going back. And that's what I encourage you to do the same. Look, I'm going to preface this as well by saying, look, I understand that it is a privilege to be Canadian. It is a privilege to be able to even have the luxury to travel to another country to do this. I understand that people are literally sacrificing their entire lives just to make it to Canada. I understand that. I understand. And I'm not saying that you need to go to Colombia or somewhere else. Your new identity could be in Canada, right? I'm just saying you could leave your hometown. You could leave to another town. It doesn't matter the geographical distance. What matters is that you put yourself in a brand new environment and you start to recreate yourself. You create this image in your mind of who you want to become, and you start to do that. And when you put yourself in a whole new environment, right, where people who don't know the old you, then the only assumptions they can make off you is the new you. So if you come in as this successful person, if you come in as this person who is a big business person, who's making money, who's whatever the identity is that you want to create for yourself, the world will allow it. The universe just opens up for you. So I'm telling you, this is what you got to do. This is what I did. And it's been 4 years since that initial move. And now I've gone back and forth to Canada many times, but the new identity is formed. The new me is here. The old Sarim is gone. And that's what it can be for you too. So I'm encouraging you right now to leave your hometown. Go find somewhere. Even if it's another town 3 hours away, that's fine. Whether it's a whole new country, that's also great, right? Whatever it takes, but become somebody new. Remember, your entire life is based on your self-identity. If you believe you are a successful person, if you believe you are a successful entrepreneur, if you believe you make a lot of money, you will become that. That's just the reality. That's the laws of the universe. Religion talks about that. The laws of the universe talk about there's no disputing this anymore. Your self-identity determines the quality of your life. And the fastest way to change your self-identity is by leaving your hometown, because nobody's there to hold you back to your old identity. There's nothing, even the streets you're a part of, right? Like the things you see on a day-to-day basis, the streets, the houses, the buildings, it's all different. And guess what? The new you can be formed in this new environment. I'm living proof that this has worked for me. I've seen many others do it themselves, and I'm encouraging you to do the same, right? You don't even need to be in your 20s. If you're watching this and you're in your 30 or 40, you can do it. Change your environment, change your life. I'm living proof. Lots of others have done the same, and I'm telling you this just so you can continue to succeed. Also, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Subscribe, like the videos, get the notifications turned on. I will keep creating content to help you become the best version of yourself, but you have to subscribe to this channel so I can help you do that. So do that right now. Hit the like button, smash the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video.